evening, everyone. I'm Maribel Romasanta. Tonight, I'm going to report about challenges and opportunities for virtual universities in the 21st century. Due to COVID-19, our lives change. Workplaces are empty, business shifted, people stay indoors, and one of the things also rapidly changed was higher education. Universities closed doors and began having lectures and exams online. As for students, well, some found distance learning a struggle. Many thought it gave them freedom when they needed. But what really is online education? Online education allows you to study all sorts of degree wherever you are in the world, so you can easily do it at home, at local cafeteria, or during your trip to Thailand. You can even do it on Mars if you have the connection. It is at your own convenience. Next to that, you can save a huge amount of money because there aren't any mobility costs, and online programs are usually cheaper than the ones you need to attend. Also, when studying from a distance, you are the one who running the show. You can plan according to your own personal schedule, decide what is more effective for you, and develop time management skills, which is essential for your own career. Furthermore, with regular programs, your study time is strictly scheduled, while distance learning can easily allow you to work part-time or follow other things which you find important for your development. The freedom is yours. In the past 10 years, distance learning has grown significantly. We see a new generation of students who enjoy simplicity, flexibility, and who are very tech-oriented. As we try to stay on the top of unfolding events, we need to remember to never stop learning. How is online learning changing higher education? The whole world of higher education is going digital. It's a fundamental shift in classroom and lecture halls, but also in research, marketing, and recruitment. Today, students expect to learn and be taught using the devices that dominate the rest of their lives: laptops, tablets, and smartphones. Universities are thinking beyond just filming lectures from back of the room and archiving them online. Teachers are considering how to create high-quality online courses and keep students engaged through online text, video, and interaction. The digital shift also affects how students prepare for class. Now, they can access resources online instead of getting a reading list for the library. Professors can ask students to do online courses alongside face-to-face classes. Students will absorb information online first, then attend classes to discuss what they have learned. Everything has to work on a smartphone, so course design must be mobile responsive. In the past, online learning was a lonely experience, but now interaction is the dominant way people behave on the web, so courses are designed to be a sociable experience. Students might watch a video, then be invited to join a discussion and be asked questions about it. The educator takes part in the discussion and the response to questions, just like in the traditional classroom. Increasingly, you will see top universities offering whole degrees online. Some are already doing this for graduate degree like us in PCU. You also see courses being broken into sections so that students can pick the parts they need. Does this mean that online classes will overtake the traditional degree? Not yet. For many 18 years old, the experience of heading off to university is about more than just academic degree. In some subjects like healthcare and engineering require hands-on learning. But when today's students arrive at the university, they expect digital technology to be part of the experience. Now, let's talk about the key dimensions of online courses. You may be wondering, what does it mean to experience an online course? Depending on your instructor's pedagogy, that is their perspective and their values about teaching and learning. Four key dimensions may help you what to expect from them communicated to you as online. While many frameworks and definitions exist to conceptualize variation of online courses, in 2016, Margila shared an analysis to provide a helpful taxonomy on online courses. It defines as dimension of instructional location, delivery medium, instruction type, and synchronicity, which encompasses a range of synchronous and asynchronous learning activities. So what is instructional location? It refers to the physical location where learners experience an online course. This location could be where you live, connected to the internet and a learning management system. It could be in actual face-to-face classroom setting, on campus, or somewhere else like coffee shop or outside at the park. The delivery medium. It refers to the channel through which course contents flow. Some content and information through the course may come directly to your course instructors as they explain complex ideas and concepts themselves, providing reading examples and stories, while other content may come directly from resources your instructor share with you by the course management system. Such information could come from a variety of course texts, which may include assigned reading from books, articles, or media, as well as information gained from peers and others you engage with outside and inside the class, or based on activities your instructor prompts you to complete. Instruction type. It refers to how learners engage in course content. Such engagement could emphasize a variety of activities that could include reflection exercises about the course content, collaborating in problem solving, in group or in team, reading and synthesizing course content, writing in responsive to course text, or creation and development of materials that demonstrate your learning, and engaging discussion with your instructor and peers in the class as well as people outside the class. These activities for learning may be engaged in connection with each other and across various modes of communication, which ties into last dimension, which is synchronicity. It refers to the response time and pacing through which learners and instructors engage with each other. Engaging and online synchronously means you are likely engaging your peers and instructor in the course in real time, with almost no delay in response. This could look like interacting a virtual classroom setting that stimulates the classroom, facilitated through a video conference software like Zoom, WebEx, Google Meet, Skype, or something else where everyone can usually see, hear, and interact with each other in a large group of breakout room. It also like interacting through live webinar in which you and your peers are learning. You could also engage with each other through instant messaging within the video conference platform, for example in the chat box, or log in into another space like Google Chat, Google Document to engage a live communication with your peers and instructor engaging in an online course. Asynchronously means learners do not need to be online at the same time and can be more self-directed approach depending on the course design and schedule of course. Asynchronous engagement in the course could occur through email and announcement shared to the course management system. It can be through pre-recorded videos from the course instructor, which may include prompts for your engagement, and response ultimately in the spectrum of instruction types that incorporate a range of strategies. Your instructor may design your course to use a host of synchronous and asynchronous options. So let's take a look at some examples and apply the 4-dimension of online course learning class. So Class A is facilitated by a learning management learning system. The physical location is their learner's home. The delivery medium is instructor who meets with class synchronously via Zoom each week to discuss the course concepts through lecture, answer question along the way, and engage the class in problem-based learning. Students work individually and in pairs to respond to case studies. Class B is also facilitated by a learning management system, but it adds course blog where the instructor can engage each other, noting each week's learning observations and online resources they find throughout the course. Learners in the class engage asynchronously, and learning teams applying their knowledge or responding to course text which the instructors share weekly. So it includes article books, chapters, and popular documentaries related to the course concepts. Course A and Course B represent one of the multitudes of online courses configuration and approaches. There are 2 tips for success in online learning. First, build community with instructors and peers. That means staying as engaged as you can while getting to know people behind the screen, their lives, their hobbies, their interests, and you may be able to support each other as you navigate the course together. Second, ask your instructor for what you need, whether it is asking questions to help you gain a deeper understanding, accommodation, and asking clarification about assignment. Your instructor is there to guide and support you. Now, let's dig deeper the most common teaching method or approach in online universities and how it is being delivered: the synchronous and asynchronous learning. Now, in this part, we're going to find out the definition and the advantage of each format. So, what is synchronous and asynchronous? Synchronous happens in real time. It can be delivered in person or online format. Learning is synchronous when the students and professors are engaged in course contents at the same time. These engagements allows easy give and take discussions, quick answers to questions, and learning environment can be highly social. Synchronous learning is familiar to both professors and students because traditional in-person classes made synchronously. Synchronous delivery is a good fit for classes for first-year students. We're learning how college works, rely on Socratic delivery of content, and depend on current events for content. Online synchronous delivery is robust. It can be most satisfying to professors because it retains the elements on in-class teaching experience. Students often find synchronous events to be satisfying as well. Nevertheless, synchronous delivery can have some downside when attempted online. Before you adopt it, consider that not all students can commit to a set learning schedule when they are learning from home. Some students do not have the technology required for easy interaction, so they may not have same experience as students with more resources. You may find that your synchronous content may not be preserved easily for review later. On the other hand, asynchronous delivery, where professors generate online content in advance and students engage with it on their own schedule, has its own pros and cons. Where synchronous support high degree of students' engagement. Asynchronous delivery support individualized learning. Students can take the time they each need to master the concepts and skills because they don't have to try to keep up with the real-time delivery. Asynchronous delivery is great choice for students who are self-disciplined, comfortable with college-level learning, concepts and skills that are complex, and technical materials that is slow to change over time. Asynchronous learning is often popular with students because of its flexible nature, but it can be less satisfying to professors who must provide students engagement opportunities in new and familiar ways. As you work to design your hybrid for online course, it's worth thinking both synchronous and asynchronous delivery method. You have choices to make, some of which includes if you have synchronous elements in your class. Will those be required? If you want to retain synchronous lectures, can it be recorded and presented online asynchronous for viewing? How will asynchronous requirements be scheduled so students will still have structure? Where will your classroom engagement come from? Now, here are the list of instructional strategies for virtual learning. There are also a variety of platforms for online education. The first one is pre-recorded videos, electronic books, social media outlets, video conferencing, and virtual classroom or learning management system. To easily disseminate information, we can use different social media outlets such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and LinkedIn. In online classes, it can also be done in video conferencing such as Zoom, Skype, Messenger, Google Meet, Cisco, and WebEx. For online lectures and meeting and to have a complete package rolled into one, we can use free classroom learning management system like Google Classroom, Schoology, and Moodle. And now, let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of virtual learning or online learning. So the top advantage of online learning are its convenience. This is obviously the greatest benefit of online learning. As long as you own a computer and have an internet connection, it doesn't matter which part of the world you are. Learners can access information from anywhere, anytime. It's flexible. Learning becomes easier when aligned with one's learning needs and preferences. Online learnings allow learners to study at their own pace, whether they are students, busy adults, or employees. It's cost effective. The cost effectiveness of online learning is quite impressive. No more travel and accommodation expenses, reusable online content, and it can be tailored to different needs. Different people learn in different ways, and online learning does everything in its power to ensure that all learning needs are met. It's immediate. Not only learners are able to begin their online learning immediately, but they are also able to see immediate results. Whether self-paced or instructor-led, it's unrestricted. With online learning, location is no longer a barrier, neither a culture or nationality. Immediate updates. Today's online learning is better than yesterday's, and online learning of tomorrow will be better than today's. Students in online programs can effectively manage their time, learn the materials, complete assignments on their own schedule are the few benefits of online learning. What are the disadvantages of virtual learning? It may be a solo act. It is true that online learning might be convenient and flexible. It is also a solo act. Some people absolutely need personal contact with their educators or trainers in order to learn successfully. It may be impersonal no matter how hard we try to fully transfer human communication to online platforms. No matter how natural it seems to form relationships behind computer screens, a virtual environment is just not human. Still, nothing can replace human contact. Too much time is spent in front of a computer screen may be harmful. Being constantly online is a new reality, but the truth is that using a computer or a tablet all the time can cause poor vision, strain injuries, and other physical problems. It requires self-discipline. If your e-learning audience lacks discipline, it is unlikely that they will be motivated to self-study. Traditional learning and training have the benefit of easily tracking both progress and failing behind. This works for many learners as well as some people prepare this progress to closely monitor in order to perform. Possible lack of control. So no matter how carefully designed your e-learning course, there is no guarantee that your messages will get across. There is always the risk of your learners just going through the material without paying any attention. It's difficult to measure program result. Questions remains. Are students learning what instructor is saying that they should be learning? The student must be self-motivated and disciplined to progress through his or her program a timely manner. The facts that there are advantages and disadvantages to every type of learning environment, students have to analyze both pros and cons factors which contribute greatly to making an informed decision about the direction at his career path. Students have to decide how are they going to accomplish their goals online, in classroom, or combination of both. Now let's talk about the challenges and opportunities for virtual universities in the 21st century. What are the key challenges of teaching online? Although there is a wide array of educational technologies, not all of these technologies are appropriate or matches to the subject taught. In addition, developing online courses are time-consuming and the transitioning of traditional course to online setting is difficult. Second, students experiencing online courses can easily get overwhelmed and confused. That's why educators should think carefully how to appropriately organize their courses. Online learning relies on students' active role in the learning process. Educators must find means to promote interactivity. 4. Online educators don't know if students understand the material or if their methods are working. On the other side, students aren't sure if they are doing enough or catching up all the concepts. 5. In an environment when instructors do not necessarily meet students face-to-face, students may never have an opportunity to meet their peers in a physical classroom. Developing a sense of community can be particularly challenging. So how educators deal with these challenges? It is very important that instructors ensure that pedagogical principles drive the use of technology rather than the other way around. Educators must collaborate with e-learning professional communities and IT specialists. It can certainly reduce the time taken to develop online course. The curriculum designer must develop courses well in advance and allow some flexibility into their course structure. Chunk the course syllabus into discrete segments and select authentic assessment that align with each learning module. To promote active learning, use online discussions, forums, and facilitate collaborative learning processes and tools. High percentage of course grades for the students' participation and discussions forums. Responding to students' concerns and questions within time frames at the beginning of the course. Track students' progress in course activities and contact students who haven't logged in for over a week to inquire whether they are experiencing any difficulties. Provide a general feedback to the entire class on a specific assignment or discussions, while at the same time providing individual constructive feedback to each student. Welcome the students before the course begins via email or course announcements, and pause a personal introduction with an informal tone. Ask the students to pause short self-introduction to forum and encourage them to discuss among each other in informal discussion sections. Now, let's discuss the challenges and opportunities for online learners. Many students may initially find this kind of learning disorienting without the physical classroom space and guidance from their educator. Although students generally tech-savvy, some students cannot even operate basic programs. Studying online can sometimes feel isolating, confusing, and discouraging. After enrolling, many learners fall behind and nurture the idea of giving up. Underprepared students can take the control and can't make decisions such as what and how much to study. Time management is a difficult task for some learners. So what can learners do? The learners must demonstrate that their prerequisite technology is adequate. Learners must seek assistance in understanding and mastering different learning modules. They must interact with instructor and other students and actively participate in all online activities. Use regular schedule planner. It will help significantly in time management. That ends my report. Thank you for listening.